I want to start with probably. I won't say. I won't call it the most surprising, but it's also like the most. So it's not very. It's shocking, but not shocking at the same time. Let's put it that way. And that is the Suns getting swept by the Minnesota Timberwolves. So first off, let me say this: the Minnesota Timberwolves are for real. I know when we were first doing our playoff preview, I wasn't quite sure. I was like, do we really trust Minnesota? Usually, teams who have those great seasons and are the 2 seed, the 1 seed, 3 seed, whatever it is, like Sacramento last year, um, when Denver was the first time they had a high seed. You can never really like trust them. You gotta they gotta take time and take their lumps. So they usually don't on their very first shot of greatness. Excuse me. Get over that hump. So it's like, do we really trust Minnesota? Devin Booker's been to a finals. KD's been to a few finals, has won two. Like Frank Vogel's won a finals. Ah, well, yeah. Now Minnesota's for real. They came out, they swept them boys, and I honestly I don't really want to make this about the Suns because where the Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks, which I'll talk about, we'll get to the Bucks in a second, but where they're at in comparison to where they were when they met in the finals is are two of some of the worst ways to run teams and franchises and move yourself backwards. It shows you just how easy it is to lose all of the momentum and all the traction that you might have gained throughout however many years because you're trying to make one move, two moves, however many moves you're trying to make to like get farther somewhere that you didn't even need to get to. Right? So remember, Phoenix was in the finals, best record in the West, I believe. Chris Paul, Booker, Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, had Cam Johnson off the bench, Cameron Payne off the bench. Like a real good team. Monty Williams was the coach. Lost in the finals, and then I guess what was it? They lost to Luka after that, and like they were just like, oh well, Ayton doesn't want to be here, but then we're gonna pay him, and then we're gonna trade him after we pay him because he clearly don't want to be here. We're not playing him. Chris Paul's getting old; he's got to go. We go get KD. We trade Mikal Bridges. We trade Cam Johnson. Some pieces, stuff like that. And it's the Suns obviously have moved backwards. Everything that they have done has moved them backwards, and they've gotten worse than as opposed to getting better. But I don't want to make this about the Suns. I want to talk about Kevin Durant for a second because there was a time where Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, LeBron James, and LeBron honestly is still kind of at that point. Like there was a select few teams where, or select few players where, if you were on their team, that team had a chance to win. Right? LeBron still if you have LeBron James on your team, you're gonna be a hard out every time, as we saw with the Nuggets. Even though they won in 5, and even though they swept them last year, these aren't easy series at all if you're playing against LeBron. Steph is not really like that anymore, as you see they couldn't even make it out of the play-in. And Kevin Durant, it's to the point where he's not really like that anymore either. The thing about him going to the Warriors was that the best 4 years of Kevin Durant we were ever gonna get, play like we got LeBron in Miami is what a lot of us consider was his best 4. So like Kevin Durant's best 4 was spent not even being his best self because he was playing in Golden State. 4, 3 years, because he was playing in Golden State. He left Steph, and since he left Steph, he had the Achilles injury. So he played 2 years, won 2 championships. Then they lost that third year. Then but he hurt his Achilles in the final, so he didn't play that fourth year. That's your boom. There's your four. There we go. And his best four. Since then, he was in Brooklyn, 2021 playoffs. He lost in the second round. I think that was the year I want to say they had the Bucks beat, and his foot was on the line, his toes on the line when he thought he had the game winner. The following year, they got swept in the first round by Boston, Brooklyn. The following year, 2023, I want to trade. He gets traded to Phoenix. He plays 8 games for Phoenix. He's in and out of the lineup. He's hurt. They lose second round to Denver last year. And this year, they get swept by Minnesota. Kevin Durant has gone from a superstar, true bona fide superstar, to just a star who, quite frankly, he's become an irrelevant star. And when I say irrelevant star, I don't mean he's obviously relevant. People buy tickets to watch Kevin Durant play. Okay? Kevin Durant gets talked about on ESPN, on any sports network, because he is relevant. That's not what I mean when I mean relevance. I don't mean relevance just from the namesake. I mean relevance as far as that team has Kevin Durant, so they're a championship contender. He's not that anymore. Nikola Jokic, Giannis, Luka seems to be he's finally hitting that. He's more than just a guy who puts up numbers. These are the guys now who are in that category. Kevin and LeBron clearly still is. Kevin Durant is not. And that's okay, right? Kevin Durant wants to come out here and just hoop. He just wants to hoop. He wants to get on the court, get these buckets, do what he does, and leave. He don't want to be nobody, a leader, no franchise. He's not trying to do none of that. He's 30-something years old. I'm sure he wants to win, right? He's a competitor. But, that's it. All this other stuff, I don't need to be the face of the league no more. I think that there was a point where he realized, okay, y'all are never going to give me any credit that I deserve because of me going to Golden State. Fair or not, that's just the truth. And I have nothing to chase. I'm never going to catch LeBron. There was a time where it was Kevin Durant's the next up. Will he be better than LeBron? We got KD and LeBron. We had LeBron and Kobe. We had Magic. And now, that nobody's even entertaining, Kevin Durant could surpass LeBron. I'm not sure if Kevin Durant ever at any point passed LeBron. Because even when Kevin Durant was hooping, LeBron, when Kevin Durant was in those best years we're talking about, LeBron James had just come back from 3-1 in the finals before Kevin Durant got there. So even with all that being said, I don't think Kevin Durant had ever surpassed LeBron. And he definitely won't now. And because of that, no one even really gives a damn about Kevin Durant's legacy anymore. So now we don't care about your legacy. So we really don't care a whole bunch about your playoff results. Nobody's going back and saying, "Oh, Kevin Durant, well, I won't say nobody is, but we're past that point of, oh man, Kevin Durant can't be getting swept in the first round because his leg is. We don't care, and part of that might be because we've already thrown his legacy out, like I said, because of that Warriors stuff, which I didn't. Some people might have, but now it's just you're just the guy. You went to Brooklyn and you made yourselves formidable. But you didn't come close to winning a championship. You've gone to Phoenix and you haven't come close to winning a championship. And that's just where Kevin Durant is now, and it's sad to say. But also at the same time, it's he's 35 years old, or however old he is. Steph is old. LeBron is old. We think because Tom Brady played till 43 or whatever it is, 44, 45. LeBron's almost 40. That these guys should be still hooping at 35. No, these guys need to retire. So yeah, meanwhile, Anthony Edwards on the other side, that dude, he's the truth, man. He's the truth. And this talk of who's going to be the face of the league and blah, 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 why not him, Why not him? So The Suns get swept. I don't even know what's next. I feel like their roster construction was terrible. I don't think that Frank Vogel was given a team who was like meant for the way he likes to coach. That team is not designed to coach, the way the Lakers played defense in 2020, the way the Pacers played defense in 2014. That's not that Suns team is not designed to play defense that way. So to sit here and hold that against him, oh, you're a defensive coach and y'all couldn't guard anybody, that's not his fault. You didn't have any depth. You chose to go get Bradley Beal and swing for a home run versus actually build out a roster and get you a true point guard. I don't want to hear this stuff where this is on Frank Vogel. And I know Stephen A. starting to chatter about, oh, Frank Vogel's job may be on the line. Like, come on. I don't want to hear that because to me, that's not fair. I just think that the roster was not constructed well. When you try to microwave success, that's what happens. The Nuggets follow their process. The Thunder follow their process. The Timberwolves follow their process. They made some moves, but they didn't try to microwave success. What these teams fail to do is they see a little bit of success and they try to go get this superstar or whatever. Brooklyn Nets had a process, tried to microwave Harden, KD, and Kyrie, and now look where Brooklyn is. Just that fast. Philly had a process. So when you sit here and you're like, oh, let's make the splash, there's only one player. There's only one player in this league who you can go give him just a bunch of other stars, give him nothing around, and say, hey, he'll make it work. That's Mr. LeBron James. Y'all gotta stop doing that with everybody else. Just because you have Kevin Durant doesn't mean anymore that means that your team is an automatic championship contender. It just doesn't. Maybe are they an automatic playoff team? Okay, maybe. An automatic championship contender?